watching this live. I'm not sure if anything's coming through. It's the nature of live over studio. Sorry about that. I'm busy tucking my mic. And good evening to everybody. And this is Wednesday, the 14th of July. And we are having a massive streaming issue. The internet obviously is under great pressure in the area at the moment. Again, we've tried two options, two network connections, and both seem to be problematic. However, if you are hearing this or you're watching this later, we are recording it. We've been advised to do that, which means we can upload it and it will be available later this evening on YouTube, Vimeo hopefully as well, but YouTube definitely, and then the streaming will be more reliable, or the presentation at least will be more reliable. You won't be watching it absolutely live, but you will be watching it this evening. So good evening and welcome to this presentation, Piano Hour. This is Christopher Daigan coming to you on the 14th of July, Wednesday the 14th of July. And it is under very difficult circumstances. I'm sure many of you who are hoping to watch this locally are well aware of the very tense, very tricky environment in which we're living and working at the moment in this part of the world. If you're not, and I know many of you are watching internationally from other countries overseas, I'm sure you are aware of the unrest and the looting and the rioting that is going on in South Africa right now. Not only in South Africa, but it's happening in our province, in our city, and in fact, literally on our doorstep. It's no more than a kilometer or 2 kilometers from us, from exactly where we are. Has been ongoing, sporadically. Some of the places, the Pietermaritzburg Central Business District has been completely looted. That happened, I think, on Monday evening. And a lot of shopping centres still in the area are under threat. In fact, I'm hearing helicopters going over the whole day, probably protecting one of the last, I think there have been 4 or 5 malls in the area, in the city at least, which have been destroyed and burnt and looted in the last 4 or 5 days. For those of you who are living here locally, I'm sure you already know that, so we don't need to talk about that. Please stay safe, look after yourselves. Thank you for all the messages and the concerns that have come through. I realize I'm talking to the wrong camera in all this chaos. Thank you for all the messages and concerns from many people who have come through. Barry and I are fine. We are doing all right. And we are going to have a session of Piano Hour, Piano Hour session. I asked on Facebook this afternoon, I said, well, we're definitely going ahead. What do people suggest we actually perform? What do we perform? I play this evening, and there are many suggestions, but I actually am going to play a pretty calming selection. There were a number of pieces that people did ask for, which I might include. And the selection I'm going to choose is a mixture of classical and more contemporary pieces, as well as a series of my own pieces. I think because this is what I need, I might be not the only one who needs this, some calming, relaxing, beautiful music that's reliable, predictable, and something that we can count on, and we know its construction and what the end of it is going to be. And the 3 pieces that I'm focusing on my own this evening are all, in fact, seems rather appropriate, from a set of KwaZulu-Natal landscapes that I composed some years ago. And so I'll be playing those 3 pieces through this evening in combination with others. So I'll be starting off with the Nocturne, a piece of night music by Frédéric Chopin. I thought the mystery and the atmosphere of this, as well as the drama which unfolds in the middle of the piece, would be suitable for this evening's session. This Nocturne, Opus 27, number 1 in C-sharp minor SSA, has a great sense of mystery and illusion. The music hovers and seems to move very slowly at first before there's more turbulence, and in the end the resolution of the music is very convincing and very peaceful and quite happy and content. Straight after that I'll play a piece by the Italian contemporary composer Ludovico Einaudi, his Nuvolo Bianchi, or White Clouds. It's a very beautiful piece, I think, something that really has a great atmosphere and great sense of comfort in its repetitive chords. And then the last of the 3 pieces, one of my own pieces, as I said, from the KwaZulu-Natal landscapes, composition called Lions River, a beautiful valley, a beautiful landscape on the N3 when you're driving on that road and towards the Midlands or towards Johannesburg, you arrive over this hill with this beautiful valley which suddenly unfolds in front of you. And it's such a magical place of great expectation and possibility. Three pieces there. I ended with one of my own compositions, Lions River, from the 4 KwaZulu-Natal landscapes. Before that, Ludovico Einaudi's Nuvolo Bianchi, or White Clouds, and I started off that 3-section with the Nocturne Opus 27, number 1 by Frederick Chopin. A wonderful, calm start to this evening's calm session of music under really very difficult circumstances. And of course, here's little Lucy. Hello, little Luce. Hello, you coming to say hello? How are you doing, Luce? How are you finding everything? Oh yes, it's very, I know. Is you also feeling quite tense and a little bit stressed, aren't you, Luce? I think you can also feel the tension in the air. Oh. But don't worry, Luce, you're going to be safe here. We've got a nice space for you to sit, and we'll look after you, and you're going to be okay. Hey, little Luce. Little Lucy, the long-haired dachshund. Our favorite little part. Everyone loves Lucy. Everyone says, where is Lucy? When are we going to see Lucy, the long-haired dachshund? Here I am. I'm a fairy paws. You're going to give me a little kisses. You're going to give me a little licksy. Oh, Lucy, you're so sweet. I'm going to move on then to another 3 selections, 3 pieces of music. Starting off with a piece which I think is most appropriate for this evening, the Consolation, the famous Consolation number 3 by Franz Liszt. This is such a generous, delicate, but incredibly warm piece of music. There's something very sincere and I think quite open-hearted about this, but also at the same time very gentle. Franz Liszt's Consolation number 3. After that, piece by the contemporary pianist Jan Tiersen, Dutch pianist, Pozgoret, from his Usha suite, a suite of pieces, a set of pieces inspired by his home island, or the island of Usha in the Brittany coast of France. And then the third, so 3 pieces, another of my own compositions from the KwaZulu-Natal landscapes, this time a very popular piece called Heimweh, which I was very inspired by, again, by the beautiful sceneries and by the approach to this beautiful place. So Liszt, Jan Tiersen, and one of my own pieces. something unique in the atmosphere of that piece of music, I think. That was a composition of my own, a piece called Heimville, one of the 4 KwaZulu landscapes, and one of the compositions I played this evening. Before that, Porsgoret, the opening movement from Jan Tierson's Usha, suite of various scenes and very interesting textures and titles, and starting off that section of 3, the Consolation number 3 by Franz Liszt. Now, in this evening's program, of course, we have also lots to celebrate, beautiful music, and we also have an opportunity to celebrate a very good friend of ours, both of us, Barry and I, Maria, whose birthday it is today, and it's a big birthday, I believe. It's a special birthday, and Maria, I know that you'll be watching. So this is a special piece of music for you, to wish you a happy birthday, and just to acknowledge your friendship in our lives. This piece of music you asked for, the Fantasy Impromptu, is really one of Chopin's most celebrated compositions. I think it's one of his most beautiful, perfect and concise pieces of music. And it has this brilliance and expressiveness of the outgoing sections, the outer sections, which are quite assertive and full of turbulence, but in the middle is also, at the core of this, is this beautiful melody, this wonderful melody that repeats itself again and again before the opening turbulence returns. And in the mystery of the piece and the magic of the piece that Chopin produces is that little refrain that you hear in the middle section comes back very gently and resolves the whole composition in the bass in the left hand of the piece, quite magically itself. After that, a surprise piece I have played before, but I know it's a favorite for many people, the very popular contemporary piece Hallelujah from Leonard Cohen. There'll be an improvisation around that, and then I'll be ending off this evening's program with another of my pieces from the 4KZ Landscapes, this time very evocative and I think quite heartfelt piece called Hilton Road, that combines elements of a hymn, a sense of peace, a sense of sanctity, you might say, and also at the same time in between that sections of a great sense of loss, maybe melancholy, a sense of introversion interspersed with these moments of hope. that was Hilton Road, one of the 4 KwaZulu-Natal landscapes of my own composition, bringing this an end to this evening's program. Before that, I played the very popular Hallelujah contemporary song by Leonard Cohen, my own improvisation around that, and I started off that series of 3 with the Fantasy Impromptu. That, of course, does bring us to the end of the program. I really hope for those of you who live in this part of the world, KZN, also those of you who might be affected by the unrest further afield, to really look after yourselves, wishing you well, stay well amongst everything else that we have to deal with at the moment. This unrest is certainly very unsettling. But we will be back. We will be back on Saturday. Apologies for the difficulty of the stream in the beginning. If it is bad through the first part of the program, I will upload a recorded version to YouTube so you can actually have the option to watch either if you aren't watching it live now. And we look forward to, as I say, seeing you on Saturday evening. If you are able to support me in this project and during this time of no concerts, I'm very grateful for every support that comes through. We look forward to seeing you there on Saturday evening. Look after yourselves and stay well.